I was pretty much like the youngest person that was like playing professionally, like in the scene. It was like me and like Po Belter basically, and I was like playing in like every tournament, like back 2010, 11, 2012. So I was kind of like the youngster of like the scene, and everyone would always be like, oh, it's like the young prodigy, like when I would like pop off, make a play, or like win a game, it'd be like, oh, it's the boy, and then that turned to like it's the kid, like, oh, it's like Jimmy Neutron, like all these like tangents that would just like go off and stuff. And then if I would like make a really great escape or something like that, or like a big play, I started saying like "see you nerds," and then people started like repeating it and like saying it more, and like it became kind of like an unofficial like catchphrase. And then eventually like people would just like I would be at like an LCS event, or I'd meet a fan and he's like, hey Void, like can you say like "see you nerds," and then I would just be there like I'd be like "see you nerds," like and then they'd be like yeah.
And an honor and a privilege. I will never act intolerant or ignorant. I aspire to the highest for my citizens and my kings in them. I see kings in them.
Closer, have you been anywhere except LA since you got here?
I went to Vegas and San Francisco.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, for an NBA game, the Golden Guardians.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, dude, when I was on 100 Thieves the first time around, they took us to a Cavs game. It was cool. We met we got to meet Dan Gilbert up in Michigan, and then we took a bus down. Got to like get courtside on a Cavs game. Saw LeBron there.
Nice.
It was cool.
Are you into football?
Nah, I'm only into fighting,
Oh,
like
okay.
UFC and boxing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, nice.
Would you ever do it yourself?
If I can go like 10 years ago, I could.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, if I start now, I'm like 22.
He's thinking like pro. Why not just do it for fun?
Nah.
No?
If I'm gonna give my time, I have to be really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you dabble at all when you were younger?
Yes, I
You
did.
did?
I went to like boxing for 2 years when I was like 10 years old, but like I don't know why. I just don't know.
Boxing's fun though. My brother did a little boxing, so I would go, and then they were doing it, and I got my own raps and stuff on the side, and was like watching them and like practicing on the side to try and do it myself.
I respect people who do that. Like, it seems really hard, but I would never do that. Like, signing up to get punched in the face.
I
don't think I want that. I don't really want to get punched in the face.
I would go for like one day. Someone would like knock me out. I just like go home crying, like trying to find my mom.
Yeah.
I think I started at the end of season 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I started late.
You haven't even been playing the game that long.
Yeah,
That's impressive, you guys.
I think like when I first started playing, my only goal was to get better at Zed, because I saw this champion. I said, wow, this champion is so cool. And it looks so hard. Like there's like shadows flying, and I watched I think Faker clip. I'm like, oh my God, how are they like so good, you know? Like my only purpose was play the game enough so I can buy Zed and then learn it. Like it was like crazy. It was for fun. Like everything was for fun at the beginning.
Yeah, and that's how it always starts. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Did you play any games that were similarly? Like, did you play Dota or anything?
No. When I was a kid, like a Turkish tradition was not like stay at home and play at your PC, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like I didn't have like a really good PC, and I wasn't like that allowed to play, just like work, go to school, you know? And so I think I was like really missing it. I think I kind of built my mindset like I want to play it, you know, because I wasn't able to play it when I was a kid.
Yeah, that makes. I was similar. I had to sneak on the PC.
Yeah.
And I think that not being allowed to play it made it so like once I was allowed to play it, I just went crazy.
Yeah.
So I did have games when I was really younger, like the Nintendo 64, Super Mario and stuff. But then at one point, without me knowing and against my will, all my games got traded in. And when I went to my friend's house we didn't have snow days in Florida, it was hurricane like days, you know. We would like play on her computer. She had 5 brothers and stuff, and we would like share like that PC and stuff. And then a lot of my focus in high school and stuff became like, well, I have to go to college, you know, I'm focusing on speech and debate, that's my ticket to get a full ride. And then it was after undergrad where I was like, I am a damn adult. I want to play games. I'm probably not good because I haven't had like anything to play it on for a while. So I want to really like do that again. And then that's when I discovered like League and esports that also aligned with like my goals of like being in entertainment and broadcasting. So it all worked out where like I discovered League and was like, oh shit, this is so cool. And then, oh my gosh, the broadcast is cool. Like I'm just immediately obsessed with all of this. So it changed from like just wanting to be gaming, like with my friends and stuff, and like get a setup, to then like actually influencing the way like my whole life went.
And I know you have a card named after you in a game or something. Like, how did that happen?
So when I discovered like LCS and stuff, and I started working in the amateur scene, like in this Serpentis Pro League, people like Blaze Olive was playing in it, and like Alorm and stuff. We started, like a few of us also found this game called Duelist that we really liked. And it's this card game that had like a board component. And like reach out to them and we're like, hey, you know, we want to do like esports stuff around and like, you know, maybe work into a like world championship or something. So we started making events for that, and I became a caster of Duelist and was casting that. And then at the end of it, like because like I was like the host of the world championship and like got to S rank and stuff like that. So they made like cards for some of like the personalities in the scene. I had the card LeTigress, so that was really cool, and like got to see like my likeness in like pixel form and stuff and put in that.
Was it a good card? Was your card strong?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was in some decks, but it was cool because I was close with a lot. It's one of those indie games, right, where you get to like talk a lot like with even the guy that like made the game and stuff like that, and got to like, you know, kind of hear about the process, see the different versions of the card as it was developed. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's fun. I would, if I had a card made after me, I would want it to be good. Like,
Yeah, hell yeah.
It would be so sad if they're like, oh, we made a card after you, and it's horrible.
It's like a 1-1. It like does nothing. You're like, is that like a personal attack?
Is that how you see it?
Will, is your in-game WoW item good?
Oh, it's actually not an item. It's
Okay.
It's an NPC,
It's an
right?
NPC. Yeah, it's just like a random quest giver in a zone. So it's like not a huge part of the game, but
Okay.
it was super cool for me because like, you know, I grew up on WoW, pretty much played it on and off since it came out, and just like I didn't even know it at the time. I only found out about it like a few months ago when the like designer who put that person in the game was like, oh yeah, this was made after Meteos and his dog Charlie. And it's just like a random guy named William and a dog named Charlie.
That's amazing.
And yeah.
Have you interacted with the NPC?
Yeah. I flew over and found it. And Charlie actually passed away like not too long ago. And so like I went over and like, you know, saw him in game again. It was like a nice, cute little moment to remember him. And he's still there. So, you know, it reminds me of him. So
That's so good.
You king's power isn't absolute. That's why we need more kings steady passing through. More citizens adopting these attributes. And that's the truth. King.
you're new to the LCS, relatively. Mm-hmm. How much of the LCS did you follow back from the early days?
I just remember the key moments because I started late. Like I remember Dignitas Voyboy, I'm a Cutie Pie era, and then I remember the C9 mainly. Yeah, like those stuff were like when I was a pro, it was like a dream for me to like reach this level, be this popular. And when I first came to NA, actually, like I would play with Voyboy in solo queue, and he was always super nice.
Hey, my boy.
Such a good guy.
Let's go, yeah.
Perfect.
Voyboy, do you remember the first time we met?
Wait, there was a few memories I remember, but which one are you thinking of?
Dude, this was MLG Dallas at the time.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I remember like I would always watch your streams when I was in college, and I was like, dude, this is like the coolest dude ever. Like,
yeah.
Like I wanted to be you when I was older. I met you at the after party, and you were super down to earth, and we had like this conversation, and I was like, damn, he's so cool. And then I remember I asked you, I was like, yo, dude, add me on League. And you're like, yeah, I got you. And I was so excited. I remember the next day, I like opened up my laptop to check for my League client. It'd be like, yo, Voyboy said he's gonna add me. And I scrolled through and I just kept scrolling and there's no Voyboy ad. And I was so sad.
That's not, dude. Why you gotta expose me like that?
No, but dude, the thing is, like later, You added me. And then afterwards, when I was a pro player, I was like, damn, dude, if some random guy met me and was like, yo, send me a friend request, there's no way I would have remembered.
No, dude, I remember that. I remember that vividly. Yeah, dude. Then when we were in LCS, I think we went to like some Brazilian barbecue, and we were having dinner and sitting next to each other, and I think you were like, yo, boy, you want to see me do like the first 151 Pokemon, like, and then you nailed it like pretty perfectly. Do you remember that?
Okay, so I remember you telling me this story, but I've never known the first 151 Pokemon, so I don't know if that was me. I feel like it might have been someone else.
No. It was definitely you. Dude, this is like a glitch in the Matrix. I swear this happened. I swear. I'm not crazy.
I've never known the first 151 Pokemon, though.
That's such a specific memory, though.
Yeah, like
no, I remember you told me this story
else
before.
Yeah.
It had to have been someone else. Some LCS player there.
Last time we talked about this, I was convinced that you were just messing with me, and I feel like you're keeping it up to this day, but honestly, I'm cool with just not knowing, but I swear it was you, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, the only thing I ever tried to memorize like that was like digits of pi, because...
Me too! 3.1415926...
535 8979 323
Damn.
84626.
You still got it all in your brain. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Nah, it's nerd stuff.
Yeah. I feel like stories like that are always cool because everyone says how, especially in the early days of esports, you could just go somewhere as a fan and there's like no barrier between like fans and players or other players and players. So like, are there crazy stories from just other people like coming up to any of you and being like, hey man, I just wanted to say, hey, what's up?
I remember MLG Raleigh, I think it was like 2011. I was on Dignitas at the time, and I remember CLG needed a sub because Big Fat LP couldn't make it to MLG. So they asked me to go sub, and I think I was like 15 or 16 at the time. It was like the first LAN event that I was allowed to go to. I told my parents I got to fly to Raleigh and play in this tournament, and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's like next weekend. But the league thing, it was just like this little like barrier of gates, and like they put like a bunch of desks together, and the fans were like right behind you while you're playing. So like we'd be playing, they'd be like screaming, yelling. Like I remember I got like a double kill top lane or something, and the guy behind me, he like patted me on the back. He's like, let's go, boy. Like that's what's up. I was like, oh my god, like I was like shaking, like I was like so scared. But
dude,
yeah, back in the day, it was like so budget.
You're also, I remember you as a super creative player with like Katarina Top and all this other stuff. Was that intentional? Like, did you want to be super creative, or you just thought this is the best?
Okay. From like, I've been playing for like 10 years. From the very beginning, I was always just evaluating every champion, every possibility, every build, and just thinking about the different ways that things can work. And I would come out, I would introduce like my Lee Sin Top, the Akali, like the tank Katarina, stuff like that, like the Olaf, like stuff that people didn't think was good, like AP Tryndamere. You should never just accept stuff that other people present to you as fact. Like if you're going into like the World Championships, I think you should always be questioning the meta, the champions other people are playing, and just think about, okay, why are they playing this? What could do well against it? What other champions that people aren't playing could be good in these slots? For example, when Gwen was released, I was spamming Ghost Gwen, and I was telling everyone, Ghost is like her best summoner spell. She's all about consistent DPS, repositioning, using her low cooldown dash, getting in range to like reproc your R, get positioned correctly for your Q to hit like the sweet spot. And I think the more people like just give it a try and try out different combinations with it, they'll realize like the power behind it. But yeah, Ghost Gwen is like the way. Like, don't take Flash. That's what I'm saying.
Close, you hearing this?
Before you were here, I was telling them Ghost Gwen jungle is really good.
Oh really? Yeah. Let's go, my boy. That's what's up. You gotta win NA with the Ghost Gwen, bro. Well, I'll give you more Ghost tech. I'll keep it a little under wraps. I'm just very passionate.
Oh, no, I like it.
I'm
If
sorry.
not enough people run it, we need you outside of the doors with like the pamphlet saying, have you heard of a sum called Ghost?
Literally, dude. That's what I've been trying to do. For
Church
sure.
of Ghost.
Next level, episode 9, featuring Ghost. Got the title right there.
I would.
I know a lot of Turkish players will play on Europe West, right?
And we have our own server for like a lower ping, but like pro players play at EU West.
Okay.
It's because better competition.
Is it possible for someone to do really well on the Turkish server and then just join like a Turkish team, or do you kind of have to prove yourself on US?
When I was going to first pro, I was like ranked 1 in Turkish server,
Hey,
and I started on like amateur teams, and like it's like I got rank 1, so like what's next? I can't do more. And then people are like, why are you even playing in Turkish server? Go to US server. And I remember back then it was like I remember TCL players were not able to hit challenger in the US.
Oh wow.
And they were like either high master tier or like D1, Diamond 1. And I remember like I grinded so hard. I was like challenger. I wasn't even playing at TCL, and I was challenger. So I was pretty happy.
So that kind of proved like you got like some secret sauce compared to a lot of TCL players at the time.
Were you like the only Turkish player who was able to get challenger in
Yes,
US?
I think so. I mean, maybe there's like one more, but like really few of them. But also like when I was first starting, the junglers were pretty bad in Turkey. It was always like an import jungle. So it was really hard to build the trust. Hey, like I'm good. Like I don't have a team. Maybe try me.
But you're from here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude, that's relatable.
Yeah. I mean, same team is kind of here, right?
Yeah. Now you're the import.
Yeah. Now I'm the import.
There was a time when NA felt like one of the best regions in the world, and it didn't feel like there were too many other people to look to.
Yeah.
What was your perspective on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny to think about it now, but because people always bring up like whenever I talk about, oh yeah, I used to like compete at like the top internationally, and like, you know, we were like, I was one of the best like top laners in the world. Like our team was like one of the best in the world. Like the new fans that obviously weren't around for that or don't really know the history, they're like, oh, like, you know, you boomer, like shut up, grandpa, like what are you talking about? But like there was multiple North American teams that were competing at like the top level, and it just over time, like as the years progressed and more tournaments and more scenes and more players came about, we just started to slip behind. And then obviously, like, you know, since like the LCS era, we never really could compete. I mean, I guess if you count like MSI and stuff with CLG and some different, like, you know, I guess Cloud9 had a few respectable runs.
Team Liquid
at Worlds.
At MSI 2 years ago.
Yeah, Team Liquid.
We all forget.
Yeah, Team Liquid.
Yeah.
After the final, we try to forget.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it hurts my heart too, because like I was literally up there competing and like close to winning like these like insane tournaments, and now I just like see everyone bashing like NALCS and our teams, and like we never get results, and it just hurts. I was like, man, I really hope in my heart one day we can get back there and we can compete. And you know, I mean, people always laugh, but yeah, I mean, it'd be so dope to see an NA team like win Worlds one day. Like that's still like a personal like dream of mine, even if I'm not out there competing. Like I just hope it happens. And I mean, we're still a long ways off, but never say never, I guess. Yeah.
Flip it, twist it, and improve on it. Formulate a strategy and move on it. Stay cool, you can handle the heat. Cause nowadays kings also be commander-in-chief. You get me?
You're actually saying, Closer, that you played AD carry initially, right? And you switched to jungle.
Yeah, I would play like AD carry mid lane, and then I switched to jungle.
That's why you're so good too.
Yeah. Mechanics.
No, but it was actually the exact same for me. I was an AD carry main back in like season 2. I played like a ton of Ezreal and Corki. Like I just thought they were so fun.
No way.
And then I had like one friend in our group that we play normals with who was like giga high rated. He was like semi-pro. And then at one point he left his team and he's like, yo, like I'm
Who
making
was it?
His name was Nothing Here.
Oh yeah, Nothing Here. I remember. Yeah.
He was making a new team, and he was like, yo, like, I think you're pretty good. We should make a team. And so but he played AD carry too at the time. So I was like, well, what should I play? You know, like we can't have 2 AD carries. And he fucked me because he told me, play jungle. There's no good junglers.
Oh my god.
And I wish he said any other role, because if I could go back, I would have never played this cursed role.
He owes you like 10 years of therapy.
Right? It's like the role itself is cool, but it's just designed in a way where you like can't have good relationships with your teammates. It's so hard. Like if I help one dude, I'm indirectly not helping the other 2 lanes, right? It's so tough. Anything you do feels like a losing battle.
Bro, I'm telling you, like, it's so different now. I remember, like, just because I've literally been playing League for like 10 years straight, right? Like from the beginning. I just remember it just used to be like more chill. Like just part of the reason I like sat on the stairs, you know, it's just there's just like such tension and like people just on edge, like ready to like go off and like run it down and like start like typing like with Storm to each other. And like it just sucks because like from the beginning I never liked that stuff, and it wasn't that common, and I always tried to like shut it down. Like when my teammates would be arguing or like people like going off on each other in chat, like, yo guys, like it's fine, like let's just play, like don't worry about it too much. But I feel like nowadays it's just like so hard to have games like that like consistently. So I do kind of miss like that those old times a bit for sure.
Yeah, it's been a huge shift, and sometimes I try to wonder, I'm like, am I just remembering it different? Like, was it always like this?
No,
but I'm just
bro,
noticing.
no,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it kind of feels like that at multiple levels. Like it feels like people talk about the league like that. People talk about the broadcast like that. People talk about individual players like that. And I think just focusing on mistakes a lot and being hypercritical is like, it's like cool in this community. And I personally don't really like it. I mean, I think a lot of it is a lack of perspective, right? Because even if you see LCS players, right, everyone makes mistakes. We're all humans, right? Like even the best players in the world, like they're gonna have variance, right? They're gonna have bad days. And it's always so bizarre to me when someone's like, wow, the 5th best player in this role in the Western Hemisphere made a mistake against the 2nd best player in this role in the Western Hemisphere. Right? And I think that's a lot of what the issue with negativity is. It's not that people are wrong, right? That someone made a mistake here. It's that they're missing the bigger picture. So I would love to see the community just like wake up a little bit in that regard.
Like my experience was like really shocking. I was like 17, 18. I was at the Turkish finals, and after we lost the finals, and I made a tweet like I was really sick that day and we lost it, so I made a tweet like well played to the enemy team. I was really sick today. I couldn't play good. Sorry guys and stuff. And then suddenly like everyone like so many negative comments and like all these like flame when I was a kid. Like I didn't even like think about it, you know. It was kind of hard to like face that, but and then I learned it that way. It is what it is.
I just wish there was just a little bit more, you know, like the golden rule or whatever. Like just treat everyone how you want to be treated. Like I'm not saying that like, you know, criticism and like constructive feedback and like critique and like even getting mad that like your favorite player or like someone like played really bad or made a bad play, like that's all fine. But I just feel like it's gotten to the point where it's just too much. Like it's a little overwhelming in some ways. But like the thing is, the sad thing is, like anytime I talk about something like this on stream or like tweet about it or see other people talking about it, like there's such like a backlash against like this kind of sentiment. It's like just like toughen up, like it's just like a game, like just like why do you care? Like just go with it. Like yeah, it's like even to like what I'm saying now, if like people hear this, like some people are gonna react like that. It's just like I understand that's like how it is, but it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone has to be okay with it. And asking for like more respect and kindness and just understanding from everyone across the board is not asking a whole lot at the end of the day. So yeah.
Gabby, something I want to ask you was I've always had a lot of respect for like you have generally a pretty positive disposition on the broadcast, you know, bring a lot of good energy, but I've also seen a lot of criticism sent your way, and part of that's probably just because of you know, being compared to other hosts and people like that. So how do you feel that's affected you, and you know, just your general outlook on it?
When it comes to receiving audience perception, there's actually something I've heard you say that I liked a lot, where you're saying it's not just about not focusing on the negative, even the positive can be dangerous, because, you know, then if you focus on when people are saying good things about you, then you start like hungering for that when it's not there, and then you worry about when you're not getting that reception, but then like hanging up on the negative can be bad too. So that's one thing where I try to not really focus on it a lot. Like it is a habit. People have a hard time propping one person up without shitting on someone else in a lot of cases, which I just think is like not a great dynamic in general. And I think just accepting that that's kind of like the mindset with it, and trying to ignore that and not compare myself, because in the end, like I'm trying to find my voice and who I am on broadcast and like develop that skill. So if I focus so much on people comparing me to other people, it can be like a dangerous path. And then also just knowing my own truth, because I'll see things that are criticisms just based on falsehood that just aren't the facts. So it's also hard from that perspective. How do I really combat an idea that just simply isn't true and based in things that just are not true at all? You can't. So just got to focus on like what I know, you know.
I think what you said about knowing your own truth is like so important for anyone, because especially like the online world, like, you know, whether you're like a pro player or like a streamer or just, you know, anyone really, like people will say all kinds of things about you, and like a lot of them are not going to be true. and they might like, you know, try to spread it and stuff like that. But just knowing like in your heart, like what you know is true and like who you are and like the things that you care about and your values and stuff like that, and not letting anyone like take away from that or debase it, and just always having that to go back to and like focus on yourself, and trying to like, you know, work on your own stuff and what you want to do as a person. I feel like that's a really good way to like stay grounded and not let like all those like little like, you know, like the little like birds chirping like distract from that. So
when I was a pro player, my motivation was always like, there's not one yet, but like if there's a Hall of Fame for a league, like I would like to be part of it. And I don't know, I don't think with my current career like I would be there, but you know, it was always a goal. It was a cool thing to chase.
You don't think you'd be in the Hall of Fame?
I mean, we had like the initial C9 run, but that was like a team collective. I feel like
international success too.
Yeah, I just don't know if I did enough to get there, but it was always my motivation. But maybe one day I'll go back to it, and we can get there.
I think you're pretty goated, bro. Like pretty up there. Be in it. But I was gonna say, I do think it would be like super cool to like, you know, have like the greatest players of all time in some way like immortalized. You know, I mean, there's so many crazy, insane players with storied careers over the last like 10 years.
Maybe they're waiting for North America to win Worlds.
Yes.
You need to win Worlds.
So closer this year.
Torch, bro.
Yeah, it might take a while, guys.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you got this year, dude. You got this.
King. Ho, people going wild for the slightest things. That is not found in the mind of kings. That is not found in the mind of kings. That is not found in the mind of kings. People switch fast when the pendulum swings. That is not found in the mind of kings. That is not found in the mind of kings. That is not found in the mind of kings.
You're Olaf in game 2. 2v1 double kill. Tell me about that.
See ya, nerds.